Yo, K-Kunnnn here. Today we can try out Burnice and how she feels to play as a trial character in the main story, and we will break down her kit. So obviously, things can change, especially numbers and multipliers are subject to change until they are fully released. So maybe they might increase or decrease her numbers. So with that out of the way, let's start with her basic attack. So she does 5 normal basic attacks. Nothing special here, but her whole basic attack is a bit special because if you're in the cocktail state, you will spin and spray fire on the enemies, which consumes 20 heat, disengage under your HP bar, which applies Scorch in order for you to do some of the off-field damage, which I'll get into later in her core passive. And from playing with her over and over, the way you can apply Scorch onto the enemy is by doing her Beyblade spin attack, EX skill, and chain attacks. I tried dodge attacking and parrying with her, no Scorch marks applied, so yeah. If you finish with her Beyblade spray, you can follow that up with her EX skill to immediately do her double shot, which leads us to her skill. So there are 2 variants of her skill. She basically does 1 flamethrower spray onto the enemies, and you can do some side steps to reposition yourself if you are in line of sight of the enemy's attack. But here's the caveat, you can only sidestep if you're using only 1 flamethrower shot. When you're using 2 of her flamethrowers, which is her double shot, you won't be able to sidestep and avoid the enemies, but you'll have enough interrupt resistance so that you won't be able to be knocked out of your double shot. And plus, I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like she does a lot of damage. The tick damage is freaking wild. Maybe the enemies are just like a level below me, and obviously the stage feeds you with a bunch of energy canisters, so you're basically on infinite energy. So her dodge is nothing special. It's just the standard dodge attack, doesn't apply any Scorch onto the enemies, but something special that only you can do is hitting that subscribe button to keep me in the basement. So thank you very much. Moving on to her parry or defensive assist. So when you parry with Burnice, it will be a standard block and attack, and then you can follow that up with her EX skill if you have it, and it will immediately go into her double shot variant. Her chain attack, she does her sexy pose, propelling herself onto the air, defying gravity and spraying hell onto the enemies, and if it finishes, you can go again, follow it up with her EX skill. Okay, now her core passive. It's literally a freaking thesis, so I'm just gonna grab some of the important stuff that you need to know. Heat has a 100 gauge point. You get 1.4 heat by consuming 1 energy. When her heat is about like 50% or 50 points, which is half of 100%, she will enter cocktail state, and that is where you can apply Scorch onto the enemies by doing her chain attack, EX skill, and her whole basic attack. And every attack you do onto the Scorch enemies, which procs Afterburn, which is triggered every 1.5 seconds. It will consume 8 heat, and the damage is based on Burnice's attack of 290% on the level 5 of her core passive. And lastly, for every 10 points of anomaly proficiency, Afterburn's damage will increase by 1% up to a maximum of 30%, and it's considered assist attack damage. So if my math is correct, it's 300 anomaly proficiency. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. My ass might be spreading misinformation, lol. But damn, it does quite a bit of damage. From what I've seen, every tick is like 9k to 15k with Caesar and Lucy. Pretty nice off-field damage. So her additional ability says that if you have 1 anomaly character or someone in the same faction, when you hold basic attack and EX skill, her fire build-up anomaly will increase by 65%. And when any allies apply burn, the duration of that extends to 3 seconds. I'm assuming you're extending the burn dot, which I think will be pretty good for someone like Soldier 11 with an Inferno metal disk drive. And now, her mindscapes. M1 increases her heat from 100 to 140. And when you enter battle, you will start with 40 heat, so you can immediately apply Scorch onto the enemies, increasing the damage multiplier of the Afterburn by 100% of her attack, and fire anomaly buildup rate is increased by 25% for her Afterburn. So I think this is a pretty nice QOL for her anomaly buildup and applying Scorch onto the enemies and her overall damage. M2 unlocks Thermal Penetration, which can stack up to 5 times, and if any allies attack the enemies, it will increase the pen ratio by 4%, so the max limit is like 20 pen ratio for the attack, which I'm assuming is for the Afterburn. not the attacks of your allies. M4 basically gives you a 30% crit rate to her EX skill and increases the duration of double shots by 1 second. So I'm guessing this is more damage for Burnice. I kind of find this meh, but maybe 1 second can double like the damage of that double shot, bro, which is actually pretty broken. But hey, I'm not getting it anyway, so M6 is this. So let me summarize it. When you do her EX skill double shot, not the single flamethrower, you will get these effects. You trigger afterburn every 0.5 seconds and it doesn't consume heat, which is freaking insane. You ignore the enemy's fire res by 25%. If the enemy's burned, it will proc another burn that will do 1800% of the original damage, and it has like a cooldown of 20 seconds, so you can't like consistently proc burn and then do like 10 bajillion damage. So this has like a slightly higher damage multiplier to Jane's like M6, but it has a cooldown, so yeah. So my overall feel of playing Burnice is fire. Her transition from her one basic attack to her hold basic attack and then following it up with her EX skill is buttery smooth for me. I have stress tested her energy, which I just ignored all the energy canister and basically kept doing her hold basic attack, then doing her EX skill double shot. The thing is, when you do her hold basic attack, you can see your indicator to activate your EX skills moves way down, which makes me believe she won't have a major energy issue as I thought it would be. And she will be most probably the off-field damage queen right now and providing some funny disorder damage and basically buffing up Soldier 11, since I think if you run mono fire, I think you might be able to consistently keep the burn anomaly onto the enemies, which makes your Soldier 11 have 20% crit rate for free, bro, all the time. If you have the Inferno Metal Disk Drive set, obviously. But yeah, subscribe so I can stay in the basement, like for the algorithm, and leave down in the comments after trying her out on the trial. Did you change your mind in getting her, or did it just amplify your desire to get her? Because for me, it kinda did. Plus, her banner's pretty cracked though, man. But I'll hold off a little bit until they show like Yanagi's kit, and after that, I'll make my final verdict for myself. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye!